Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm joined today by Karl Williams. Karl's gonna tell you a little bit about his fight he had last weekend over here at Stellar Fights 47. So Karl, give us some information, your name, where you're from, where you train, any shout outs you feel like.
Karl Williams out of Atlanta, Georgia, America's top team. Lima, I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands, as we see back here.
Nice.
Shouts out to Barber Orthopedics, first of all, because they was able to get me to the fight, and Family First Security, because they always get me right for the fight. So yeah, those two are the biggest shout outs, and all my friends and family that was watching, my grandmother for all her prayers, and my aunt, before for the mornings, they call, and then we go over some stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
Gotta have family.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, so talk us through your performance last weekend. So it might not have been the exact outcome you wanted, but I feel like it's still a similar result in what you wanted.
Yeah, definitely. One of the first round finish came out. The jab was landing. That's why I went in for the shot, because I hit him with the first two jabs, and I saw him end up getting a high guard, because one of the jabs just split him. I think it might have been the first one. It went straight down the middle.
Nice.
And that's what, especially having my boxing coach there, that we had to do boxing. So, because my boxing coach was there. But the first one landed, then I landed the second one. I was like, okay, the range, and he was trying to throw, and I could tell off that. So once he backed up to the cage, I was like, okay, let me just go in for the shot. Normally, if you look at any of my older fights, I normally let the person shoot it on me, because one big thing about that we train is shot defense, cage work. So I'm very comfortable. I'll kind of invite you to taking a shot, because I know, we work on it twice out the week, so taking a shot, but also defending a lot. So we'll have different drills, double legs, single legs, and we'll work that. So normally I invite it, but with this fight, how it was going, like I said, I saw his hands go up. So I was like, oh, that's all takedown territory. So once he was up against the cage, I was like, okay, let's go. Went in for the shot, and then took him down the first time. I wanted to get more of the body. So that's why when he worked his way back up, I was all right with him working back up. And that's one thing, Jakal, one of our head coaches, he called and was like, look, stop moving so much. A lot of times, how I had the first takedown, I'll end up trying to do a lot of other, transition too much. So one big thing, he was like, look, settle in the position. And even Will Brooks, that's one thing he said too, be comfortable just sitting someplace. So once I got the back, I had my hand wrapped around him, I knew I had control. So it was all right, if he works his way back up like I did, I knew I was going to get the body lock, and I had good control. So working the game plan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, so it looked like you smothered him with wrestling pretty well. Did he do anything that you weren't expecting him to do, plus or minus, or did he, not do anything that you were expecting?
It was so quick, because it moved so quick, because I was expecting a head kick, because that's the only thing I saw. But I haven't seen a lot of his fights. So right after, I had the other fight on the 12th. So I jumped into this one, and only fights I saw was the one in the Contender Series and the one with LFA. And those are losses, and they were the LFA one was longer, but I couldn't really pick and find it good to watch a whole entire fight. So I could only see a lot of head kicks, working the Muay Thai, which I'm not worried about the head kicks, because I was in Thailand once, and a guy almost, when a Thai guy, he head kicked me, and after that I was like, you know what, we work on a lot of stuff. So yeah, you don't worry about once you get because the fight in Thailand, the guy came out, he had over 100-something fights. It's Thailand, so he's kicking my arm, and then he goes up for the high kick, the head kick, and I blocked it. But I always know to be prepared for that, especially guys with Muay Thai. And from what it looked like, he Boatwright is a Muay Thai or likes the kicks. Like I said, I only seen a little bit. So as far as what I I wasn't really expecting much except for like a hard fight, you know.
Right.
I saw one of his wins because I only saw the 2 losses and one of the wins when he did for the belt, and he grind the guy up against a cage. So I know if it's out in range, he's gonna be doing a lot of head kicks and not so with the striking, a lot of kicks. And then if it's up in the cage, he wants to grind you. But like I said, I'm not worried about that part when it comes to MMA. Yeah.
Right. Now, so it looked like he hurt his shoulder, maybe coming down towards the end there. Do you know what that was?
It said it was his knee. I'm not sure what it was. Because he went, when I looked at the camera angles that we have, he went straight back.
Right.
So I'm not sure if he planted wrong, and because when he landed, it was like just flat on his back, but something twisted, I guess, when we were standing. Because I felt one of his legs like buckle or like shift weird under me. But when I looked at the video that I have, he like, I only, because they have the little cage part in front of it. Right. So I didn't get to see the standing part. I only saw as it was falling. He fell regular. So that's why I'm like, what happened? But something had to happen when we were standing on the way to the ground.
Huh. Okay.
And sorry, I had a cough drop in. So if it sounded bad at first, only reason because I got back on Tuesday and like I was doing fine doing yard work, and then my like I got a head cold and it just went like phew. So I'm gonna cough drops down. Yeah. So I apologize if it sounded bad. I said, let me
you're
try.
good.
Okay.
Let's see what else. So he's actually been on the Contender Series. You mentioned that before. So he has had the UFC's attention at one point in his career. Where does this put you with a finish victory over him in the eyes of maybe like a Dana White Contender Series or like a Bellator or an LFA?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I just hit up some promoters on Monday. This is before I came down with the cold, but I'm gonna be at practice on this Monday coming up. I hit up 2 promotions Monday trying to get fights. One was the 25th, so this weekend, and one was the 7th of November. But I misread it. They're like, one of them is an amateur fight and the other one is a pro fight, but I didn't get the information back. But I just want to fight. Like I begged all pandemic. I'm still begging now. I just really want to fight. Like if I could get a fight, I have a wedding on the 11th. If I get anything late November, early December, hopefully I could get to one of those promotions. I'm begging for one of those, somebody, I think I'm my last opponent, 6'4" big guy, been around jiu-jitsu, as far as he's been around MMA as well, but he just started his pro career, but he's been known for jiu-jitsu and doing tournaments and different stuff. So purple belt in jiu-jitsu, Peter New. And now Boatwright as far as being on the Contender Series. Right. Whatever they look at, I've fought 2 opponents in the last 2 fights where it's like, okay, well, whatever made you look at Boatwright, I fought him and win. And even before the injury, it still was going in my favor. Then Peter New, purple belt, was still able to control him. So I'm doing something right. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong as far as getting the fights, but I'm doing something right as far as picking the opponents and picking the stuff. So hopefully this one or hopefully another one gets him to where it's like, okay, let's book this guy, see what he has.
I hope so. I mean, I've seen guys on that show that are like, 5-0 sometimes. So you definitely have the experience. You're beating the people. So you're beating the quality people.
Yeah.
I mean,
not to think, and I'm not saying, but some of those people, I have literally, I have one promoter who was trying to get me a fight. I had neck surgery earlier this year, and I had 6 weeks. The doctors, Bar Orthopedics, they gave me 6 weeks. It was like 6 weeks, and you could, start back training. But I started training after 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks because how they do the surgery and what they do, I was able to heal faster. And on the 6th week, I had a fight lined up, and one guy pulled out. And I'm like, I'm literally coming off a neck surgery. and he pulled out. Then like some guys, one of the guys from Bellator, the guy asked to fight, and the guy turned it down. And it might have been a business decision too, where it's like, okay, well, I already had this opportunity here. I'm not gonna waste my time going over here, with a small promotion when I could probably get rescheduled. But it's a fight game. Just go in the cage, fight, win, go back. So I don't know, but yeah. So they've reached out. One guy, he has reached out to certain people who has been on certain platforms, and I don't know. So yeah.
I mean, keep at it. I mean, you got to be really close, if not already, in their minds. So what I really want to know is, you have a very calm demeanor. And I noticed that when you talked in the press conference. I'm noticing it now. But how do you flip that switch? How do you go from being, calm and collected to slamming guys on their head?
I don't think it ever flips. I'm calm. Like, even I was trying to get my headphones to walk out, but it started scratching, so I didn't want it like messing up as I was walking out. But I was listening to ocean sounds on the way to the fight. And that's the thing. And I told somebody this. I was talking to somebody. I was like, if you have to do certain things to get ready or get yourself hyped up for the fight, you're not really ready for the fight. So for me personally, I do get nervous and different stuff, but it's not having to flip a switch as far as nervous. It's just to like calm yourself down. So for me, I'm calm in there. I'm comfortable in there. Leading up to the fight and having people there for the fight is what makes me nervous. But as far as like flipping the switch, like some people like they gotta talk trash and they gotta do this and they gotta do that. They gotta push each other. And that's why, like, for me, most of my wins, I think all of them, I just put my hands behind my back because I'm not really worried about, we're gonna fight the next day. That's why I was like, so for me, I'm calm, I'm comfortable in there. I'm comfortable with the whole fighting process, no matter what the outcome is. So it's not a switch that I have to flip. It's comfortable.
Right. So you guys aren't back there slapping each other in the face or anything like the coach.
Nah, man, I don't like getting touched. That's the thing. I don't like getting touched. Like, even in my personal life, I don't like people like touching me. So, which is funny because people are like, how do you not like getting touched? But then you like it makes makes my skin crawl. But like, so you do that, but then you go to jujitsu. Because even like at practice or certain things, like I don't like like people like to come and just like hit you for no reason. I'm like, ah. So yeah,
they'll walk up behind you and like put you in a hold real quick, and you're like, stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't need to get slapped before the fight.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. So, how did you get into this sport?
Well, I wrestled from middle school to high school. I took 1 year off because of my neck. I had herniation disc in my neck, so I had to take a year off from football and from wrestling. And then I wrestled the other 2 years. And then my senior year, I don't think I wrestled then because I was doing, I had like football scholarships and different things.
Nice.
So, but I did it most of the time. And getting it back, pushing me forward. I always want to do like the Olympics for wrestling for the Virgin Islands because I ran track for them. So I was like, well, I could probably make it further in wrestling than I would in track because nobody's being bold. So, and the smaller guys, I'm like 6'3", 219 when I'm running. So, I'm not outrunning a lot of those guys right now. So I was like, well, it started out with trying to get back in shape from truck driving. So
is that your full-time job? Or you're a full-time truck driver?
No, I used to be. Now it's a full-time, and I do family first security. I do like security cameras and different things.
Nice.
So that's what I do on the when I'm in South Carolina. Like I go to practice on Monday, come back on a Wednesday afternoon, and then Thursday morning I gotta go and do a install.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Love to hear it too. Now you have 2 kids then?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
How do you balance, a full-time job, training, once or twice a day, and kids and family time and all that stuff?
Good wife. That's it.
Yeah.
But we call it, just the neighborhood. We have a great group of neighbors, the Conrads, that's the last name, Smiths and Coopers. and then my family friend Wanda Harmon. But they like if I'm in Georgia, somebody picks up the kids from either daycare or the school bus, and they'll stay there for the afternoon until
Nice.
until my wife gets home. And if they got like soccer practice, what a lot of the kids are in our age range, so somebody like someone will be able to pick them up or take them to events, and that's how we get it to work. But we're not even, we don't. My family is mostly in St. Thomas or Trinidad, and then my wife's family, she's her family's Jamaican. Her parents are in, most of her family's in Atlanta or New York. So in South Carolina, it's just us. So we've been, I guess we're decent enough people to gravitate good people to us to help us out. Yeah. So that's how we're able to do it. That's how I'm able to do it.
Right.
Because if not, I don't think it would have been possible. Because like I said, I'm in Atlanta Monday through Wednesday, or like depends on the camp. I'll go there Monday through Thursday. So that's 4 days out of the week that you're gone. She's a nurse anesthetist, so she's in the OR from 13-hour shifts or whatever. Their schedules are crazy. So doing those type of shifts and then still having to come home. So for her to have to do that, while I'm gone, it takes a village.
Absolutely.
And we got the right village.
Absolutely. Well, if they're listening, appreciate the help. That's always a good thing.
Oh yes.
All right. So when you're in Atlanta, how do you stay there when you train, or you're making a commute?
No, I stay in Atlanta. I was making a commute. I think before COVID and during COVID, I'll go down. It was before COVID, so I'll go down on Monday, train, and then drive back, and that's like 3.5 hours. So I'll go down, train, and then drive back Monday. Then I'll go down Wednesday, train, and come back, and then I'll go to like different gyms in South Carolina on the off days. So that was the original, but gas prices got too high.
Right.
And they get worse now. So
yeah, they're not stopping. It's gonna be a little while.
Yeah, that's what they said next year. So.
Well, yeah. So you have some of the best training with you. You said Will Brooks, he's been around the game for a long time. Definitely a good grinder as well. I know you mentioned the Lehman brothers. That's fantastic. How does that set you apart from maybe like your opponents or anybody else?
Man, you don't like leg kicks. You're gonna attack me. If you're gonna attack anybody at the gym, it's not even me. If you're gonna attack somebody at our gym with like leg kicks, you're facing Douglas, who's known for leg kicks. Diego, his striking, his combinations, and just the movement, head movement, and different things. So you have that. Even like with Will Brooks, I'm 220 at 230, but like how he angles his body, the little stuff that he does just to hold you down. And like I said, even what he said before the fight, he was like, look, you have to be comfortable because we're working like wrestling drills, and he has his fight coming up on the 30th, I think. So we're doing wrestling drills. I'm bigger than him. And he just sat in like a certain position, waited for me to make a mistake, capitalized on it, not even a mistake, wait for me to just move. But his mind is just thinking so much ahead. So you go against those people, and like for me, they're smaller, so I have to scramble more. Most of these big guys, they're not scrambling a lot, and they're not coming from wrestling backgrounds too. So like jiu-jitsu, you could kind of like stop. And even at practice, I learned the hard way too, because getting back into it, I used to like keep having to stop at practice. Like you scramble a little bit, and you just like, okay, you stop. But then you get choked out or armbarred, and you're like, nah, I gotta keep moving. Especially with the light guys. Because we have this smaller guy. He's an up and coming. He's gonna be great. He reminds me of like the Diaz brothers, but his name is Christian, and he'll go with me. He's like, he always comes like he's one of the guys. So he'll come pushing, and be like, let's go. But even for him, like the movement, the constant movement, that he does is like it pushes you. So when you get against bigger guys, they're not gonna be able to push the cardio that hard, or even scramble and move that much.
Great point. Yeah. All right. Let's see. One last question here. So any advice for any, potential up and coming fighters or people starting to get into it? Any advice for those new guys?
Like I was just talking to a guy recently. stay consistent. Go to the gym, take the classes. Dump the ego at the front of the gym. Like, you're not gonna knock out everybody, especially if you're at a legit gym and you just walked in. Like you're not like everything isn't about going hard every day. Like I'm the big person most of the time at practices. Like you can't hit as hard as you can. Work the technique, work the form, lose sometimes. Lose and learn in losing. Like they tell me not to say like that, but like I tell the Lean brothers, like I'm comfortable losing to you guys every single day at practice. Now, am I losing the same way? No, and hopefully no. They'll have to say that part. But lose at practice, that way you learn from your loss. Like for me personally, learn from your losses. If you got like, I remember my only loss, I got armbarred. Well, now at practice, I don't get armbarred. I might get caught in it, but I know how to defend it and at least get out of it to where I'm not having to tap at practice for it.
Right.
So even if I got caught in it, like I'll let certain things happen and I'll defend it. But I'm fine getting caught in it at practice and eventually learn how to stop that. Now, if you even go for it, I know how to defend it and go from there. So learn from your losses, and every practice, you're not trying to be the biggest, strongest person. If you're trying to like practice to then after practice have a conversation about how you did this to this person, probably not. You probably wasn't really learning anything to begin with.
Love it. Fantastic. All right. Anything you want to say? And if you parting words, you can drop your Instagram or social media handles if you want.
Let's see. I gotta figure out what it is. Karl G. Williams is the Instagram, and Karl Williams, I think, is the Facebook. I don't have a nickname, so
okay.
No nickname, just Karl G. Williams. Because I think if you don't put the G, it won't come up. It'll come up to like other people. So Karl G. Williams for Instagram and Karl Williams for Facebook. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. So as a parting gift, we're going to send you a shirt. We appreciate you doing this thing, taking time out of your day. So we'll send you a little something. But best of luck. We're going to be watching you, and hopefully see you, UFC, Bellator, LFA here soon, doing some big things.
Hopefully they see this.
Right. All right, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.